Hello, hey guys. Suppose I'll tell you what I'm doing here. Basically, my name is Lovin, and I want to document my journey learning C. I guess a bit of background. I'm a second year computer science student. I have been programming for like as long as I can remember, maybe the last 8 years. Oh no, not 8. That's a bit of a stretch. Like 5 years maybe. Since I was 15 is when I first introduced to programming. That was Python. That was my first language, and then from Python I learned a little bit of Java, and then Kotlin was a big one for me, just because I wanted to make an app. Tried Swift, but over the last couple of years, ever since I started my course and I guess A levels, I have struggled with using my brain. The rise of AI and all that, and it's not like I don't understand what the AI is writing, because I do take the time to sit there and learn it and figure it out. But it's one of them things where I'll understand it, I'll know it, I'll write it out, I'll copy it, whatever, and then I would know how it works, and I'd be happy with that. And I thought that was a valid way of learning. But what I've realized is over time, over 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you forget what you've written because you didn't sit down and write it. There was no sense of accomplishment. You understood it, fair enough, but you didn't write it. And so I wanted to just take a bit of a step back and learn something and sit down and learn something. We're off uni at the minute. My only thing I like to do is work and go to the gym, so I thought I'd have some time, and I wanted to spend that time learning C. It's a very, very fundamental language. It's got a lot of problems in it, but it's a it's a good language to learn, and there's no one can argue that learning C would hinder your development as a programmer, especially because you have to be aware of so many things, from what I've understood. But I guess the way these are going to work is I have a few PDFs, some books that I found online, that are just sitting in GitHub, that I'm going to be working through right now. I think I'm going to go through Learn C the hard way, because that is my preferred method of learning. Just jump into it, figure it out, and then it's just going to be a journey. I'm not making this for anyone to watch. It's more just for me to keep myself accountable and make sure there's a schedule and make sure I'm ready and I'm learning. But I guess that the I don't. You can tell I don't speak to myself much, or there's no script here. But the first video will showcase, I guess, what I have learned so far. Now, I do know a bit of C. We did do C for us, a project in second year, and that project was essentially just, I guess, a scheduling algorithm. I can't even remember it now because it was so long ago. It was about, what was that? It was in October, maybe November, that we did it, and it was you basically had a bunch of processes and you had jobs that would get put into a queue, and then something would consume the jobs. You would have a producer and a consumer. I think it's a pretty common problem, but you would just had to make and fill out some subroutines. But they had that was my first, I guess, proper sitting down and learning C. But again, I don't feel like it stuck in my head as well. And then after that, my second experience with C was in, what was it called again? Was making this. This was a project that I wanted to do with my friend, and it was. This was, I guess, the first experience of me trying to learn C myself, and this actually did teach me quite a lot. It was meant to be a physics engine. Now we used Raylib for the graphics, but it kind of hinged on the producer consumer thing, because I had essentially an empty list of planets, and then you would have these planets get added per click, and you would manage the planets in that array. And I would say I copied a lot of the code from the coursework, because that's what you're meant to do. I made something before, and then I wanted to follow that. But again, I did use AI to kind of do quite a bit of it, which is why, again, I didn't feel like at the time I understood what I was making and everything made sense. But you asked me to sit down and make the exact same project again from scratch with no external help. I don't think I could. And as someone that does enjoy software development and enjoys these little projects and messing with these little projects, it just doesn't feel accomplishing enough for me. So That was during the winter holidays. Now we're in the big summer break, so I thought I'd give it another crack and decided to make videos to keep it a bit more, hold myself a bit more accountable, I guess. There we go. I guess I'll show you guys what I've gone through so far from Learn Through C the Hard Way, which is like, so we learned about the general kind of, let's see what I remember. So it's sudo hash include stdio.h, which includes the standard input output library. Then you do int main, and we just learned about printing. That was, I guess, the first thing. You have to return 0 to return code. I know that. I knew about int main already. I know how to initialize a function. I know how to initialize variables. This is stuff I have done before. But I'm gonna make this video series following the book and the order at which I do stuff. If I go away from the book because I'm bored and I decide to make a little project because I want to, that's what's going to happen in the video. But I only decided to make a recording of what I would do now at 10:58 p.m. So I did a lot of this afternoon, just chilling. Hello, I am, I think it's percent, right? There's percent, D years old, age, oh yeah, and then that's a semicolon. So that was kind of the main what we learned at the thing. We did also learn about the ending. I think they're called terminators, but there's different ones. What was it? That's not it. Was I print? There's a man print. Yeah, there we go. The /a, /b, /f, all of those. I did have a look at those because I think that was one of the extensions to have a look at what they do and search them. I think XRS2 also taught you about makefiles. Again, I've used these before, but CD. What am I doing? But I can't say that I'm very competent at them or I know a lot about them. I think it was C flags equals dash G. I do remember what dash wall is, show all the warnings, and then dash G, I can't remember, something about like telling me more stuff, something like that. I can't remember exactly. And you do clean, sudo, or not sudo, rm dash r dash f main help, and then rm dash r main dot dsym. I don't know what dsym is, but it's a thing. I'm not gonna do that now. So we make main. Yeah, it makes a main.dsym. I don't know what that is actually. I don't know what that is, but it's there. And then that's with main, and there it is. I'm 20 years old. That's really all we went through. We went through the first 3 chapters, I think, of the book, and that was the main stuff that I went through. But yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to make this video. Hopefully, my ability to speak to myself will get better, and it'll be a bit more coherent than just me blabbering. And hopefully, these projects will get a bit more complicated and a little bit more entertaining, and I'll crash out a bit more. But thank you if anyone does decide to watch this and join me on my journey.